Hi everyone, in this topic we will talk about Agile software development. What is Agile software? Agile is a type of software development methodology that anticipates the need for flexibility and applies a level of pragmatism to the delivery of the finished product. Agile software development requires a cultural shift in many companies because it focuses on the clean delivery of individual pieces or parts of the software and not on the entire application. Benefits of Agile includes its ability to help teams in an evolving landscape while maintaining a focus on the efficient delivery of business value. Collaborative culture facilitated by Agile also improve efficiency throughout the organization as teams work together and understand their specific roles in the process. Finally, companies using Agile software development can feel confident that they are releasing on high quality product because testing is performed throughout development. This also provides the opportunity to make changes as needed and alert teams to any potential issues. What about the four values of Agile? Individual interactions are more important than processes and tools. A focus on working software rather than through documentation. Collaboration instead of contract negotiations. A focus on responding to change. The first value, as individual interactions are more important than process and tools, people drive the development process and responded to business needs. They are the most important part of development and should be valued above processes and tools. If the processes or tools drive development, then the team will be less likely to respond and adapt to change and therefore less likely to meet customer needs. The second value here, a focus on working software. Before Agile, a large amount of time was spent documenting the product throughout development for delivery. The list of documented requirements was lengthy and would cause long delays in the development process. While Agile doesn't eliminate the use of documentation, it streamlines it in a way that provides the developer with only the information that is needed to do the work, such as user stories. Agile Manifesto continues to place value on the process of documentation, but it places higher value in working software. The third value, collaboration instead of contract negotiation. Agile focuses on collaboration between customer and the project manager, rather than negotiations between the two. To work out the details of delivery, collaborating with the customer means that they are included throughout the entire development process, not just at the beginning and end, thus making it easier for teams to meet the needs for their customers. For example, in Agile, the customer can be included at different intervals for demos of the product. However, the customer could also be present and interact with the teams daily, attend all meetings, and ensure the product meets their desires or requirements. A focus on responding to change. Traditional software development used to avoid change because it was considered an undesired expense. Agile eliminates this idea. The short iterations in the Agile cycle allow changes to easily be made helping the team modify the process to best fit their needs rather than the other way around. Overall, Agile software development believes changes is always a way to improve the project and provide additional value. What is Agile product development? Agile development for new products allow companies to develop products in a manner that respond effectively to change, risk. This involves self-organized teams that create fast prototype in collaboration with each other and with customer. These prototypes are then iterated through repeated cycles where customers interact with them and provide feedback that is then incorporated into the product. Often, organizations start with software development before applying Agile to other product development activities. What are characteristics of Scrum? Transparency, inspection, adoption. These are the three major principles. The first one is transparency. Here we are saying that the process must be visible to those who are interested in the outcome. The second principle is inspection. So Scrum users must frequently inspect their artifacts and progress towards their goal. The third principle is adoption. If the inspection leads to the need for adjustment, they must be made as soon as possible. So these are the three major principles. Opportunities for inspection and adoption occurs during various Scrum events. So how the overall process works. Team progress is a product in a series of sprints, which explains the duration basically. That means rather than doing task at a time, Scrum teams do a little of everything all the time. Smaller chunks of functional increments in short time-boxed cycles are considered as sprints. And then during the sprint, there are going to be various activities to ensure quality process or QA process. Team will review and adjust priorities after each sprint, if that is required. So that's how the overall process works. Who all are part of project management teams as far as Agile? We have product owner, Scrum Master, Scrum team. The product owner represents stakeholders who provide the voice of the customers, maintains the product backlog, writes user stories, and defines acceptance criteria to determine whether a backlog item is done or not. So that is the responsibility of the product owner. Then you have the Scrum Master. Facilitate Scrum, removes impediments that the Scrum team encounters, enforces rules, and organizes meetings. Third person who is involved in this process is the Scrum team, or I will say multiple people who are part of the Scrum team. It is a self-organizing team that implemented and tested backlog items as cross-functional teams. You can have 3 to 10 team members. What is Agile project lifecycle? Agile development uses activities often referred to as sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. Agile project management enables teams to iteratively develop requirements across a series of sprints. This approach is commonly used in the software development industry. Scope backlog items for the current sprint and continue to re-evaluate the next most important thing. What are the concepts that are involved when you are managing the Agile projects? Requirements are broken down into backlog items to control the scope of the development work. Each backlog item requires the product owner to write a user story and then estimate the story points and agree on acceptance criteria with the Scrum team. So the first concept that is involved is sprint. What is a sprint? Sprint is the basic unit of development in Scrum Master development that is restricted to a specific duration. A sprint has a definite time period, normally between a week and a month. Sprint velocity measures the rate which story points are achieved in the sprints. You can use it to predict how many story points you can achieve in the future sprints. So, what is user story? User story describes what the end user can do using the feature or requirement in simple language. The user story describes the type of user, the task that the user is performing, and the reason for the task. Then you can have story points. Story points indicate the relative size of a user story based on its complexity. You will use story point to measure the effort required to implement a story in an agile development process. You will consider story points to be achieved when the backlog items for your products are complete. The Scrum team assigns story point using theories that reflect the relative size of one backlog item as compared to another. Relative sizing and increasing numbers are used to indicate complexity of backlog item. You will have the acceptance criteria. This designate what the Scrum team must demonstrate to the product owner during the sprint demonstration to consider the backlog item as complete. Then you can also have releases. Releases represent the feature of a product or product family that are made available for use outside of the development organization. Features in a release may be entirely new updates or enhancement on existing functionalities. Then you can have milestones. These are the point in the release cycle where a feature or set of features are ready for release, and you can also maintain the requirement status. They are used to classify requirements on the level of their regions. Thank you for watching.